What's going on, everyone? This is Jewnbug, coach of the Maine Red Clawitzers, here bringing you my Week 1 PUL Season 3 Majors match. First match of the season, brand new team here on the right. That's going to be me with the Arceus Steel, Latios, Togekiss. You can read the rest. And our Week 1 opponent is Kalley and the Dallas Starmies. Here's the Megro, so I have the Mega Venu versus the Mega Diancie. So I'm just going to give you a quick look at my team, let you know what I did and why I did it, and there it is. Okay, so first we have the Arceus Steel, my main Uber pick, Uber Tier 1. I set this thing to outspeed Zygarde 10%, so I could pop an Ice Beam off on the Zydog. If you brought it in, unless he's Focus Sash, that'll obviously pick up the KO. About the Earth Power for a few different threats, the Entei, the Cobalion. I guess Amoonguss you hit neutrally, but the thing is, it's really Earth Power was just because Judgment, which is base 120 type steel, base 120 steel type move. That's going to hit pretty much all of his team pretty hard, and those that it doesn't, Ice Beam or Earth Power takes care of them. And then Recover for healing back up. But basically, the gist of this set was to ideally get a nasty pass over to my Arceus Steel and pretty much one hit kill everything from there, barring some Assault Vests or some weird sets like that. Next up is Jin, my Lando Eye. Brought it on the physical end, sort of helped me get the rock type move. Hits Yveltal, Zapdos, and Entei, all very hard. Obviously Avalugg as well, but I was less concerned about that. So I was really happy with that. Also bringing Stealth Rocks because, again, Rock's super effective against Yveltal, Entei, and Zapdos. Entei had a really good matchup against me, so I really needed my or at least that's really why I brought the Arcanine. But Entei had a really good matchup against Arceus Steel, especially if it was Scarf. So I figured if I could get the rocks up and sort of switch around it, that might not work in my favor. Superpower for some coverage, hitting Snorlax super effectively, and Cobalion. Obviously, Cobalion can eat up that rock slide like it's no problem. Life Orb Sheer Force set to outspeed the base 100 Mons, Zapdos, Entei. I think that's it. But yeah, and Yveltal. But Yveltal's less than that. Next, we have the Naga Latios with Icium Z, again, to hit either Yveltal or Zapdos really hard, maybe a Moongus as well. Get some super effective damage there. Max, again, set to outspeed that Max 328 base 100 group. After that, I knew I wasn't going to outspeed Zydog, and Cobalion didn't really, Cobalion doesn't have a great offensive matchup against Latios, so I figured he'd switch out most of the time. And Shadow Ball just to help with that Dawn Link's Necrozma. I believe I skipped over, Arcanine, my Aethon nickname. So this was actually an interesting set. It pretty much faced up Cobalion and Entei, Intimidate, Rocky Helmet, Morning Sun, Burn Up, because in this situation I think it's better than it's spammable, whereas Overheat you kind of lose that special attack. So I was wanted to be cognizant of that. Roar in case anything tries to set up on me, and Toxic. Toxic in case I just want to throw a Toxic on like the Dawn Wings or the Kofagrigus, a couple things, Zapdos, a couple things that might stall me. And yeah, so very defensive set and try to maximize that Morning Sun use. Here we have max special attack, outspeed there. All right, Sunan the Greninja. So this was a very interesting set. Assault Vest Gren, because of its dark typing, actually handles Yveltal and Dawnwing's Necrozma very well. I opted for a physical set so I could use the low kick against the Snorlax, since he probably figured he could handle the Snorlax pretty well, or excuse me, handle the Greninja pretty well with Snorlax. Night Slash because Donlings is less bulky on the physical side. Waterfall for stab, U-turn for pivot. This kind of exposed me a little bit to the um, to the Amoonguss. If you knew I didn't have Ice Beam, but I wasn't too worried about that because I could get out with U-turn. Then finally we have my Nasty Passer, Babiri Berry to handle a Cobalion switch in, Nasty Pot on the switch in, take an Iron Head, maybe T-Wave, and then Baton Pass or something like that. And then Air Slash, just, Paraflinch potential. So here is the battle. So I see his team here. Didn't bring Cobalion, which kind of throws a loop in my Togekiss set, but at the same time, I figure, okay, Togekiss has a pretty good matchup here. DNC, scary for that, and maybe Snorlax, but otherwise it can just kind of click Air Slash, T-Wave. What I do figure is, okay, Mega DNC, if it comes in, it's going to be fearing for my Lando Eye and Earth Power. So I figure even if he leads that, if I lead with my Lando Eye, I can maybe make a read and play for some rocks, or I could pivot out. So I figure Lando Eye is a really safe lead here. So he goes for the Entei, and fearing the Rocker Ground move, switches out, and I'm able to get the rocks up, which are huge. Now here I'm figuring, okay, I'm physical, and I outspeed it, most likely. So I can get away with just clicking Rock Slide and doing a big chunk of damage to this thing. But I find he reveals he is Scarfed, and he gets the flinch, so that's really big, so we just have to switch out Jin. The good thing is, now that I know he's Scarfed, I know that Togekiss can just resist it, and pretty much, I can go for a T-Wave right now and hit anything. So he doesn't really want to, keep doing this and let me maybe set up or throw some status around. So I do T-Wave because I figure nothing really wants to be paralyzed. And then I go to my sort of physical check. Now that Snorlax is in, so I figure, okay, Para Intimidate Snorlax. Not that big of a threat. Maybe I can even roar it out if it starts to threaten me. But he does go for the Z Belly Drum here. So gets that little bit of chunk of health back, actually maxes out his attack. Now this play was a little bit dumb. Obviously I'm not slower than a paralyzed Snorlax, but I used Roar, obviously the negative priority, and because otherwise Burn Up wasn't going to do too much. So this is where close combat would have been really nice, but so be it. So here Earthquakes and one hit kills me, despite all that bulk, just because it's Snorlax. So then Gren comes in here, and I figured maybe takes him by surprise with a low kick, and I think that did. Did a good chunk of damage because, again, I'm very physically invested. But then he figures, okay, the Amoonguss can come in here. So now I'm thinking Giga Drain or Spore, probably the most likely to play. Spore is safe. It hits my whole team, puts something to sleep. No matter what, I figure I don't want to reveal that I'm not choiced or anything. So, because he's probably confused about the damage, so I switch right out rather than going for U-turn. And he Giga Drains, so the play worked out for us. I do have recovery here. And I figure, alright, he's probably about to Spore me, so I better get off my Z move, Icy Z. And that does not nearly as much as it should have, leading me to believe, okay, this thing is Assault Vest, so I don't need to fear Spore here, but he can't really touch me, so he probably figured I might go Calm Mind or something. But I think, okay, I'm probably pretty safe here to go ahead and click Ice Beam again. So then Entei comes in, takes that rocks damage, and we get, baby steps damage on him. So Shadow Ball hits neutrally, and I get the Spit F drop, which is nice. Sacred Fire, though, comes in and crits, and that's unfortunate because it wasn't banded damage, so I think, okay, I'm actually in max adamant E-speed range now, which is concerning. But I don't want to switch in anything else to take it, or, switch into Arceus and just outplay myself and let the Arceus go down. So I think, okay, see if he goes for the E-Speed. Maybe he's, AV or, I don't know, something. But he does go for the E-Speed, knocks me out. So then I think, okay, I have a pretty safe switch in here for my Sunan. but he wisely goes back into the Amoonguss, because he pretty much knows that thing can face it up. And then I U-turn out here, and I think sort of sacking off uh, Lando I here. Don't, you know, I mean, I know Yveltal just beats it one-on-one. DNC outspeeds it, kills it from here easily. So, and maybe E-Speed, I might even be in E-Speed range. So I think, all right, probably the least valuable member here. So I U-turn again, just sort of seeing what was going to go on, maybe choosing not, choosing to see what he has. He's not Scarf or anything, but he is Rock Polish. Now this is where the Sudan set comes in handy. Since I am on the physical end, I know I can knock this thing out with Night Slash. And the Moongeist Beam does not do too much with my Assault Vest. So now he switches into Yveltal here, takes some more chip damage. And now I'm thinking, it's probably unlikely that he's going to go for Dark Pulse, but I think I can take a max modest Scarf, Dark Pulse or Oblivion Wing, and still safely U-turn so I can get ahead of this thing and switch in either my Arceus to resist the Oblivion Wing or my Togekiss to resist the Dark Pulse without having to sack anything off. So that's what I do. I do live that, which was pretty fun. Since that set was, oh, my bad. Since that set was pretty weird. So now he knows he's got to switch out, and I go into my Colossus. Just click a Judgment because I know nothing really wants to take it. His Entei was low enough where that would have killed him. And his Amoonguss comes in here, 29 on the first one, and then Ice Beam, not doing quite as much, but here's where I realized, okay, this Amoonguss really can't touch me. And this is where a Calm Mindset would have been great, perhaps instead of the Recover, but, you live and you learn. And then I'm able to knock him out after he only does 20% with HP Fire. So, and now Yveltal's in, I know it outspeeds me because of the Scarf, or I should say, I assume it does, because why would he have a Scarf Yveltal that can outspeed an Arceus? So I kind of got to make a play here and try to figure something out in terms of what move he's going to go for. And I think, okay, Jin is not that useful anymore. So we're going to sack him off, get some initiative, knowing that he's taking rocks damage every time. Now I know that my Togekiss resists the Dark Pulse. So again, just to sort of, harass something and kind of hoping for the regular DNC pre-Mega to switch in here, I actually get a T-Wave off, which is awesome because, you can't T-Wave that thing once it switches. So then I go for the Dry Baton Pass here just to see if he doubles out or anything, knowing that I outspeed it, and kind of sack off Sunan here just to get a grip on things. That's a good read by him, predicting the switch out, because obviously Earth Power wouldn't have hit me. Now Colossus comes in, so he seems to pretty much just sack off the Entei here, knowing that it's, in very low range. And now here we are, 2v2, and this is a very interesting play, right? Because this whole match, it's been dodging Yveltal's 2 stab attacks. It's been, if it's a Dark Pulse, going to Togekiss, Oblivion Wing, going to Colossus. I have a resistance for each, so this became sort of an interesting guessing game. So what I ended up doing was staying in, and that ended up being the right guess, the right read, and I hit him with a Judgment, and that crit 100% mattered in terms of knocking it out. I will say I think I would have won that one-on-one face-up with Recover and all that, but yeah, it was unfortunate because the guessing game got cut short a little bit there. It would have been a little bit more fun to play that out and see how things go, but unfortunately that's just the way it is. Sorry about that, Kalley. And then of course, Mega DNC comes in, and I'm able to click Judgment and kill that thing. So that's a 2-0 victory for us. Made a few misplays and maybe outthought myself a bit on some of the sets, but I'm pretty happy with how that went. So tune in next week, and you will see me facing Jamesy, which is certainly going to be an interesting match. See you later.